Did you get roped into coaching a young baseball team and have no idea where to start? Are you a seasoned coach looking for ideas for your next practice? Either way, I got you. We want to look at how to plan practices for a young team, more specifically, a team of T-ball or coach pitch age kids. One thing that has to be said is that you need to figure out your goals. I'm not talking about the just have fun out there kind of goals, but what specific ways are you wanting them to get better? If it were me, I would focus on three things. First, I would get as good as I can at basic defense. Ground balls, fly balls, and throwing accurately would be goals at this age. Those skills are going to transfer as they get older. Second, I would have them run bases competitively. I want them to learn how to force the action, know how to be smart but aggressive base runners. This will take some time, but you will win and lose games based on how well you run bases. Last, I would introduce and continue to go over baseball situations. What is each position's responsibility when the ball is hit? What if there's a runner on first base? Does it change when it's first and second? What if there are two outs? Does it change when there are no outs? These would be my overarching goals for the year. But what about individual practices? How would I make plans for a single practice? In other videos, I break down what I would do based on what part of the year you're in, preseason, in season, or off season. But at this age, I wouldn't do anything in the off season. I would do sleepovers and wiffle ball, if anything. But I do think it's helpful to have two different types of plans. A plan for indoors and a plan for outdoors. Let's start off with outdoors. The golden rule of practicing with any age group is have a plan and don't let kids stand around. Keep them busy. I'm going to give you big ideas to use and I'll even throw in a practice plan, but you've got to take a few minutes and make your own plan to prepare for each practice. If I were outdoors, I would focus on things I can't do indoors, mainly defense and base running. Typically, outdoor practices start with a warm-up and catch play. Playing catch is important at any age, but it's extremely important at this age. This isn't a time for coaches to go off on the side and catch up. This is a time for the team to spend supervised time playing catch. Highlight good throws and kids who move their feet to catch the ball. Correct them when they give bad effort keeping a ball in front of them, or they toss the ball sidearm resulting in a bad throw. Be intentional with catch play. Build accuracy and arm strength. Don't cut this time short. A staple of your practice will also be defense. I like to work on ground balls, fly balls, and pitcher fielding practice every time I'm on the field. Make these the pillars of your field time. The key is getting a lot of reps in a short amount of time. The typical setup for ground balls is to have a line of kids at shortstop, one kid at first base, and one coach hitting ground balls. He hits the ball to shortstop. The shortstop then gets the ball, throws to first base, and that kid will go to the end of the line, and each one by one will take their turn at shortstop. The problem with this is you have 9 or 10 kids watching while 2 kids get to participate. This kid participates a lot more than the rest. That's not going to work. So what we found to do is, instead of having the kids all there, you put 3 at shortstop, you put 3 at third base, and 3 at second base. You're going to have to recruit some help, so find 2 other coaches. This coach will be hitting ground balls to second baseman, who will take that ball and lob it back into him. This coach over here will hit ground balls to third baseman. They will lob balls back into him. The original coach will still hit balls to the shortstop, and they will throw to first base, and they'll lob the ball back to the coach. After the turn, they go back to the line, but this time there's only 2 people in line. Do this for about 3 minutes, and then the whole line will rotate over. In about 10 minutes, you can get about 50 ground balls in for each player. For PFPs, we'll have everybody who plays first base or might play first base take their position to first base. Everybody else on the pitching mound, whether they're a pitcher or not. The coach will stand at home plate. The coach will hit a ground ball to first base. The pitcher will go cover first base and make the play. They'll get a toss there. Typically, they'll throw back here. The next guy goes up. You got to be careful. There is a line over here, so you want to be quick. Otherwise, these guys are going to horse around and get in trouble. So make this quick. This play is going to help you out throughout your career. It's really cool making this play at 8 or 9 years old because most teams just don't do it. If you work on it every time you're at practice, it becomes second nature. Your pitcher will learn how to get over there. Now, granted, at 8 you only have one pitcher, but you might as well work on it for everybody because they're all going to pitch next year.
For fly balls, we'll send the player to the outfield. We'll have either a player or a coach at second base and third base, then two coaches hitting. We'll have two lines, both in center field, but one shaded towards the left field side and one towards the right field side. Every time a player takes his turn, he's going to switch lines. But this coach on the first base side will be hitting into the gap. This player is to go get it. If he can catch it in there, great. If not, he's got cut off before he gets the wall. If not, he goes to the fence and he throws it in to second base. At the same time, this coach is hitting the ball to this gap. The player on the left field side will go get the ball, same scenario, and this time he'll throw it to third base. Like we said, then the players will switch lines. We formerly would hit balls straight at players, but we found two things. One, balls are rarely hit right at players. And two, the players have a lot more fun with this drill. They love going in the gaps and trying to make diving plays or just good plays. But again, do this drill about 10 minutes and you'll get 20, 30 fly balls in this amount of time.
So now that you've had great catch play in your main defensive drills, you're about 45 minutes into your practice. If you commit to doing that 45 minutes every time, which you should, then you really only have about 45 minutes left to plan. If you go back to our goals we made, we said we wanted them to be good at basic defense, run bases competitively, and learn situations. So I think another staple of your practice should be base running. It is without question the most under-practiced part of the game that will win and lose games for you. I can't tell you how many games my team won solely because we ran bases better than the other team, and that didn't come by accident. If you want to be good at it, you've got to work at it. So make a list of base running drills that you want to do, scenarios you want to cover. You can line them up at second base, hit ground balls to the left side between shortstop and third. Let them decide if they should go to third or stay at second. You can put runners on first and second and hit fly balls and let them decide if they need to tag or hurry and get a third.
One of my favorite base running drills is to have two runners at home plate, one in the left-handed box, one in the right-handed box, and then the coach who will clap his hands. When he claps his hands, the runner on the left side of the box will run to first base and go through the base, not slowing down before he gets there. The right-handed batter will fake a swing of the bat and then take off to first base, but he will banana out and go to second base. What coach is looking for here, once again, the left-handed batter does not slow down, and the second batter, that he will touch the inside part of the base and go to second. Now, when you do the drill again, you have a runner on second base, runner on first base, they're both going to stay there, and then two more runners will come up to home plate. They will do the same thing. This batter on the clap will go to first base. This batter will go to second base. The runner on second will get his lead on the clap. He'll go to third base, banana again, hit the inside corner of the base, and go home. The runner on first will round second base and go to third. The third iteration of the drill, you have a runner on third base, second base, and first base, and two more batters. You clap your hands. These batters do the same thing. These runners do the same thing. The runner on third, he has a lead. He will go back, tag up, and go home. We do this drill where everybody goes twice through. They get to go left-handed and right-handed.
Whatever base running drill you have will take roughly 10 to 15 minutes. If you're having a 90-minute practice, you've got 30 to 35 minutes that aren't accounted for. In this time frame, you have two real options. One, use the time to hit on the field, and the other option is to work on your third goal, which was to help the kids learn basic situations. Either of those routes can be appropriate. If you go the hitting route, the main thing you need to do is to budget your time well. If you're not careful, the first two batters get about 10 minutes each, then the coach looks up and has 20 minutes left for 8 more kids. It's simple math. Take the time you have left in minutes and divide by the players needed. That's how much time each player gets to hit with a between batter buffer. So if I have 35 minutes left and 8 players, I'm going to give everyone 3 to 4 minutes and have the remaining time to handle the get you one more.
I need balls.
Another strategy is to set up another station before they get in the box. Whether it's hitting tennis balls off a tee into a fence or having another coach throw heavy balls or mini wiffle balls to them, anything you can do to help them get a few extra cuts is going to benefit them. If you'd rather work on situations, find a few scenarios that you expect to come up and focus on them. The more inexperienced your team is, the more basic the scenarios can be. I would master a couple plays that come up often. For instance, at this age, Players need to be very good at getting the lead runner when possible. So the runner on first base, the third base, shortstop, second base, and pitcher all need to work on getting the out at second base. When there's a runner on first and second base, the ground ball to the pitcher has got to be an out at third base. To practice this efficiently, I'd have two groups. I'd put all my middle infielders at their positions and roll a ball to shortstop. He should throw to second baseman, who is now covering the bag. Be sure to reverse the drill and roll ball to second base as well and let the shortstop cover. While they're doing that, have all your third basemen play the position, have all other players go to pitcher. Coach should hit a ball to the pitcher and have him throw to third base. It sounds easy, but if the first time you need them to do this is in a game, it probably won't be pretty. So from outdoor practice, I would spend about 20 minutes focused, intentional catch play, then move on to my ground balls, fly balls, and PFP. And once those were complete, I'd break into groups and do the scenarios where I work on 4 shots at second base with my middle infielders and 4 shots at third with my pitcher and third baseman. I would end by running bases with the 2 runners at home drill that we previously mentioned. What if you're indoors? If you're indoors, you can still get a quality practice, but you need to take care that your practices are efficient and get the most out of your time. At this age, indoor practices should focus on hitting and defensive basics. If you have an opportunity to do base running, even if it's in the parking lot, do it. With outdoor practices, you pretty much know what you're getting. Playing fields are the same dimensions, but if you're indoors, those are pretty unique. There's a big difference in what you can do if you have 1 cage or if you have 2 cages and extra space. The basic question you need to ask yourself is if you have enough space to keep everyone busy. And if you don't, have a split practice. If I had an hour and a half and 12 kids and only 1 cage, I would do 3 groups of 4 kids for 30 minutes each. I would start off with 2 tees and have kids switch every 5 to 8 swings. After the tee work, I would throw to them in the cage, but about 10 pitches at a time. If I had the space for them to do fielding drills while they were waiting, I definitely would do that. If I had 2 cages I was working with, I would have half hitting and half fielding. The hitting, I would do similar as what was previously mentioned. Defense side, I would do drill work. I'd work on fielding ground ball with 2 hands, a good backhand footwork, maybe gas pedals and flamingos. I would also teach kids how to make a tag. Kids struggle with that if they're not taught. Halfway through the practice, I would switch the groups. Another option would be to go outside and work on the parking lot. I would suggest a tennis ball or something that won't break the car window. The fly ball drills are an option outside. Also, base running is another parking lot activity. Put bases out and give them scenarios. Put them on a base, give them a number of outs, and let someone hit or throw a ball and have them make the correct call themselves. Let them work on tagging up or head down running when the ball's on the ground and they're forced to move up. This will be well worth your time. If you want to be a good team, it starts with good practice. Be efficient and focus on development, and the wins will eventually come. The key part of any practice from a coaching perspective is to have a plan, be organized, and go to practice ready to put in effort.